The War Within is coming, boys. And the lore looks absolutely amazing. But for now, we need a foundation. All the lore you need to know for The War Within from Platinum WoW. Let's check this thing out.
The War Within expansion is coming out soon, and it's the beginning of a trilogy of expansions called the World Soul Saga.
Oh yeah.
If I could put each of the recent World of Warcraft expansion stories on a graph, it would look something like this. But Warcraft's original creative director, Chris Metzen, is coming back.
Battle for Azeroth, it's over.
And the story of the War Within has the potential to look something like this.
It's over for real.
Problem is, there's a whole lot of history in the Warcraft universe that you have to
This is actually pretty accurate. I mean, this is like the player base. Bros. Okay, bros. Yeah. We are so back. That was really peak lore right there. That was some good stuff.
Warcraft universe that you have to have an understanding of in order for this expansion and the entire World Soul Saga to make any sense. So let's not waste any time and jump right into it. First, let's start with the obvious one. What the fuck is a World Soul? Think of the world of Azeroth as a giant egg. And
what the fuck is a World Soul is a question that is currently being answered in the new Chronicles 4. And basically now it's been defined. That's it. Like, it's solid. It's been retconned many times, but now it's solid. Let's see how he explains
that
it.
Egg is a world soul. This world soul contains a titan. Titans are gods of order, and it is said that if the Azeroth Titan is ever born, she could be the most powerful titan.
Wait, did he say the world soul contains a titan? The way I've understood it is the world soul can become a titan, but it is not a titan as long as it's inside the world. And it needs to be influenced essentially by the Titans or by the Void to become what it is to become. And that could be a Titan. I think that's what he said. It's a Titan. Let me see.
Soul. This world soul contains a Titan. Titans are gods of order, and it is said that if the Azeroth Titan is ever born, she could be the most powerful Titan to ever exist. Because of this, other cosmic forces have tried to destroy or corrupt Azeroth and its world soul. At the end of the Legion expansion, Sargeras, a corrupted titan and leader of the Burning Legion, stabs Azeroth with his giant sword in a desperate attempt to destroy the world before he's imprisoned. Sargeras fails to kill Azeroth, but he did leave his giant sword in the planet and gravely injured her. You see, the reason why Sargeras wanted to destroy Azeroth was because if the powers of the Void corrupted the world, it would doom the entire universe.
Right, he went with a, purge the entire, cosmos, basically, in order to leave nothing for the Void to corrupt. But I still believe that his swing, or his little poke of the sword, was not actually intended to kill Azeroth, but instead to awaken her or free her. I still think that. Now, was that out of the goodness of his heart? No, I think he was trying to screw over his brothers and sisters and ruin their plan, because they are specifically the ones who've kind of kept Azeroth in this more like an eternal slumber. A slumber that is lasting longer than it was supposed to. And he tried to scuff that all up for them. And he basically, proved that, hey, you want to take me away here? I'm going to prove that I was right. I'm going to awaken this world soul. Let's see what happens. And that's why he didn't kind of slash. He did more of a poke. That's right.
But since he didn't actually destroy Azeroth, just injured it, it meant that he actually just made the Void's mission of corrupting Azeroth easier. And in the next expansion, N'Zoth, old god of the Void, tries to corrupt the world, fails, and Azeroth is healed in the end, and we win, yippee. But there's still a giant sword in Azeroth, and that giant sword would kind of just be ignored for the next 2 expansions.
Yeah.
That is until now in the War Within. Azeroth is in danger once again, but this time it's far more subtle and mysterious. You see, in Battle for Azeroth, Magni Bronzebeard was the world's speaker, and Azeroth only communicated with him. But as of late, Azeroth has totally ghosted him, leaving him a solid diamond dwarf that's just kind of depressed.
And the worst part about it is now Azeroth's talking to everyone else. She's really treating him like a former ex. It's pretty sad. She's talking to everybody, essentially, in Azeroth, including the player characters. But she's not talking to Magni. She put him on block. Probably he was DMing her way too much. Magni seems pretty clingy, if you ask me.
Now, what we assume is Azeroth has started reaching out to various different characters in something described as the Radiant Song. This is a powerful, overwhelming vision that ramps up in intensity and is demanding characters to travel deep within the Earth to investigate its origins.
Right.
Let's quickly cover the backstories of each of the characters that are hearing the Radiant Song. First we have Khadgar, who's an old archmage who's been a part of Warcraft's story ever since Warcraft 2.
The shit wizard.
He's played a part in numerous fundamental events in the universe's history, like destroying the Dark Portal, leading the Kirin Tor mages of Dalaran, traveled to alternate Draenor, played a fundamental role in the Legion's most recent invasion. Point is, he's experienced, and his age has started to show as of late. As the Radiant Song is called out to him, he described it as the feeling of being filled with light and benevolence. And another member of the Kirin Tor, Archmage Madera, described it as feeling like coming home.
He almost left the home part off of that sentence there, and I thought Madera was about to say something else completely different. And if the Radiant Echoes were going to make her do that, I would have been all about it, yeah.
Like coming home.
Yeah. All right.
Jaina and Thrall have heard the Radiant Song too. If you don't know who these characters are, I don't know, how did you even find this video? But really, both of these characters have history that's just far too expansive to cover here, and honestly, I don't really expect their personal stories to progress in this expansion, and more serve as familiar faces to tell the player character what to do.
Yeah, he's probably right.
If you don't know who they are, Jaina's like a badass Elsa, and Thrall is like a self-insert for Chris Metzen, okay?
True, both true.
Anduin Wrynn is another character that has heard the Radiant Song. He's kind of sort of the main character of WoW with the amount of model updates this guy's gotten all throughout the game's history, and Anduin's story has continually been built up since Classic WoW.
Look, I mean, Anduin's like getting to a make or break moment here. He's either gonna ascend, as many have called him, to Manduin. You know, he's gonna have a great story where he gets the light back, and it's gonna be awesome talking to the Hallowfall people, become the true leader that he was meant to be. Or he's going to continue to be a whiny bitch. We'll have to wait and see. But I've talked about Anduin, sided with him a lot against the community, saying this guy's been through a lot. We got to understand. Crying is going to happen. This guy lost his parents at a young age. You know, he's had a lot of responsibility put on him. He got completely mind-fucked by the jailer. And we don't like the jailer. But imagine if the jailer was inside of you. How much you wouldn't like him. Yeah, think about that for a second. So he's been through a lot. Let's see if he'll be able to recover through the World Soul Saga. That's what I'm hoping. And become the man that he needs to be.
Wow. He is the High King of the Alliance, and the last time we saw Anduin was in the Shadowlands expansion,
I like the jailer,
where he was forcibly dominated by the villain of the expansion. Then he was given his dead dad's sword, which was corrupted by a soul fragment of the Lich King, and then he was commanded to kill a deity of the Shadowlands, and this whole time he was cognizant of his actions and was forced to watch himself do these awful things.
Right.
At the end of the expansion, his two ghost dads grab his shoulder, and he fights back the domination magic and regains his free will.
Little lore tidbit about this, by the way. This moment where the ghost dads grab his shoulders, that is actually not their souls. It was thought that these were supposed to be their souls, but Chronicle actually confirmed that this was brought to him by the light. This was a vision that was brought to him by the light, and it was not their actual souls coming back from the maw or something, which is kind of weird, and I'm wondering if they're going to, flesh that out a little bit more in the game. But yeah, this was brought to him by the light.
His two ghost dads grab his shoulder, and he fights back the domination magic and regains his free will. So pretty much, after the Shadowlands, Anduin went into hiding to deal with his trauma. There's a time skip between Shadowlands and Dragonflight, which is about 5 years, and now Anduin is coming back into the story, still dealing with some trauma, and is one of the characters hearing the Radiant Song.
Oh yeah, the Radiant Song.
Last, we have Alleria, who has not heard the Radiant Song, but instead the dark whispers of the void, beckoning her to go down an insidious path.
Yeah, Alleria truly is
Alleria is one of the 3 Windrunner sisters, and has been a character since Warcraft 2, but really only re-entered the story in the Legion expansion. During that time, she was a part of the Army of Light with her husband, Turalyon, and they've spent thousands of years in space killing demons.
Right.
So when you kill demons in the mortal plane, they don't really die, they just get sent back to the twisting nether dimension. But Alleria has discovered that if you kill them with the powers of the void, they permanently die. In order to learn how to wield the powers of the void for good, she finds an ethereal named Locust Walker, who is a master of the void, and she learns how to use the power under his tutelage and consumes the power of a corrupted Naru. Alleria mentions this Radiant Song phenomenon to Locust Walker, And that's when we uncover the key point to the mystery of this expansion. You see, Locust Walker is an ethereal, an arcane being wrapped together with magical bandages.
Right.
But he wasn't always like this. The ethereals
Will we
used
get
to
to
live
see
on their home world.
the ethereal home? I really hope we get to see what the ethereals maybe used to look like and what their home planet looked like before Demancius showed up and completely obliterated it.
World of Koresh, before it was consumed
Please,
by
can
a
we go to
void being
Koresh?
called Dementius,
Please.
the all-devouring. And the ethereals were transformed into what they are today. But here's the important piece of information. Before their world was destroyed, the ethereals heard something, just like the Radiant Song. And once they realized what it was far too late, and their world was already doomed.
What if Locust Walker works for Invalidus? If you guys don't know who Invalidus is, we covered his lore yesterday. He is another Void Lord, like Demancius. He's been recently introduced by Blizzard. We're not sure what role he's going to play going forward, but we'll have to see. I don't think Locust Walker is playing on the Void side, honestly. I do think he is legitimate. He does seem kind of shady at times, but I think he's legit trying to help us. And we'll have to see if that help ends up yielding some results, because Alleria right now is down a path that I think even Locust Walker isn't sure how it's going to end.
The main antagonist
he does know
of this
Xal'atath,
expansion.
yes. He does know Xal'atath. He's talked about her and his familiarity with her. And he kind of thought it was funny that she calls herself the Harbinger now.
Is Xal'atath. She's a void entity
he's withholding
than
stuff, I
Azeroth
agree.
herself, and was first introduced to characters in the Legion expansion, where she was bound in the Blade of the Black Empire, which was a weapon used by Shadow Priests. Throughout numerous critical moments in Azeroth's history, Xal'atath has manifested into our world, corrupting certain individuals to fall to the void. I've already made a video covering Xal'atath's extensive history. You can check it out right here. But in Battle for Azeroth, players free Xal'atath from her blade, and she possesses a dead Void Elf cultist body.
Right.
So the Xal'atath that you see in all of this promotional art and everything, yeah, no, that isn't really her true form. It's just a random dead elf that we have.
That's true.
We found laying in the dirt. In Dragonflight.
That's true. I don't know if she killed that elf or not, but yeah, a lot of people have forgotten that. They think like, oh, this is what she looks like. Yeah, this is a corpse. She's literally taken over a corpse of a void elf and is using it, to do her bidding. So she could technically transfer her soul to another body at some point, which is kind of crazy.
Just a random dead elf that we found laying in the dirt. In Dragonflight, the main antagonists were the Primal Incarnates,
16,000 points would be
elemental
crazy,
dragons
Ken.
who rejected the work of the Titans. We killed one of them, another became an ally, and the last one is Iridikron, who created something called the Dark Heart. This is a powerful relic that can absorb magical power and convert it into void energy. Now, in the War Within, Iridikron has allied himself with Xal'atath and has given her this Dark Heart artifact. Now, this wicked void entity is setting the stage to corrupt all of Azeroth, start a new dark legacy, manipulate and corrupt Alleria, and empower a void-touched army of spider people to do her bidding. And yeah, that's pretty much everything you really
By
need.
the way, this moment right here, where this is the new end boss for the new raid in the War Within. Look at this background here. Doesn't it look familiar? It looks like Xal'atath's eyes, doesn't it? And look at that reflection back there, and then look at this. Right.
Isn't really her true.
Look at that. Coincidence? I don't think so. But I always thought it was really cool how they did put that animation together. It looks like an eclipse almost or something. Her eyes. Very cool.
People to do her bidding. And yeah, that's pretty much everything you really need to know about Xal'atath. There's not that much more. Okay,
Platinum, wow. For such an accomplished historian, you failed to grasp that your studies are meaningless against the void. But no matter. You and all you know shall be mine.
Oh, Xal'atath's a baddie.
Okay, maybe there's a little bit more to Xal'atath that we don't know about yet.
It's pretty cool. That was a great one.
Let's continue on with the video, okay? In order to stop Xal'atath, we must venture to Khazal-Gar and explore the 4 new zones and the races that live there. Starting with the Earthen on the Isle of Dorne, who are currently undergoing a cultural and spiritual crisis, including endless infighting between each other, and the inability to make new Earthen. Also, you get to explore the new capital city of the expansion.
Yeah, Blizzard loves to explore the inability to fuck, basically. They've always had it with the Forsaken. We can't reproduce, and now it's the Earthen. We can't reproduce either. That's been like a constant theme for a couple of races now. I don't know what it is with Blizzard's obsession about that, but I will say the Earthen, yeah, they are basically created by the Titans to, fulfill the Titans' bidding and, watch over the Titan facilities and stuff like that. And now they're kind of having an awakening, like a renaissance, or like, why am I doing this shit? I don't got to do this anymore. I have free will, and that's becoming a thing. And the Titans don't really like free will, if you didn't know that already.
Dorn Ogal, which has a surprising amount of hot tubs. I don't know why. Then you can delve into the ringing deeps and marvel at the Earthen's industrial creations, and explore Hallowfall, and meet the light-worshipping Arathi humans and the massive crystal which looms above their zone. And finally, scour the kingdom of Aj-Kahet and work with uncorrupted Rubians against the members of their race who have accepted Xal'atath's twisted void enhancements with the promise of restoring their kingdom to its former glory. I'll be making far more extensive videos about all of these races and zones, so don't forget to subscribe. But if you want to learn some foundational lore about Xal'atath, Arathi, and Arubians, I've made a playlist of old videos that you can watch, linked down below. And yep, that's the end of the video. I'm gonna leave before she comes back, so I'll see you later.
Great video. Yeah, loved it. You're asking, so wait, the Titans come back, the Titans come back, yeah, they do. They drop a giant Colossus, basically, to stop what's going on with the Earthen, because they don't like that free will shit. Why don't they do anything about Xal'atath? I don't think they can. I think Xal'atath should probably crush a Colossus. She's also very quick. She moves in and out a lot of times, though. I don't think Xal'atath, even in the lore, she doesn't sit in one place for too long. Her location is often like she reveals herself and then disappears again. So, I don't think the Titans, for one, know where she is, and then second, they're fighting from a distance right now. They are freaking God knows where. That's the whole thing Iridikron's trying to do, is bait them back out to come back to Azeroth. So they're away right now. That Colossus being activated to stop the Earthen, that could be like an automatic trigger, or if the Titans were triggering it, they're still very far away. So, they're doing what they're doing, but at a distance, and I don't think the Colossus anyways would stand a chance against Xal'atath.